Yo, people, welcome back to Lion in the Room, episode 3. I just want to start off with thanking you guys for your love and support. The views have been amazing. So we just want to try our best and keep bringing out more episodes. So with that, I would love to introduce my boys, Kola and Oge. Welcome back to the
Hey, guys.
podcast. Had
Hey,
Oge in the
guys.
pilot episode and we had Kola in the second one. How you guys doing?
Good, we
We
good,
thank
we
God.
good.
We thank God.
Yes, we thank God.
What you guys been up to, man? What's up?
I've had a very busy week. I can't lie.
Yeah?
I mean, just today I had rehearsals for a little thing that I'm doing. I've started drama school again. And yeah, I've been working on things in the background that's been taking up my time.
How's your TikTok going? How are your monologues?
Well, funny enough, we're recording this on a day where I'm supposed to be posting it. But I did them for a year. I would like to say that I'm actually fighting for the motivation to keep going, if that makes sense.
Would you say it's hard to stay consistent now that you're having a lot more stuff to do?
Definitely, because I like my average day, I don't really come back to my home until like 1 o'clock, and I leave at around 12. So I'm gone usually for the whole day, and if that's an average day, so that's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
So that leaves only Tuesday to learn and record the monologue with good lighting, good audio, all that stuff. It's and then if I have to edit it as well, it's a whole long thing as well, because that adds more time.
But you love the experience, though.
Oh yeah, no. I did it for myself. I didn't do
Yeah.
it for anybody else. I kind of just wanted a portfolio of me acting just to show people.
So looking back and seeing what you're doing, like while editing, you just crack a little smile, like, yeah, I did that.
Oh, there are sometimes I make little jokes to myself while recording. Like if I mess up or something, like I'll make a joke about it so that when I'm looking over the takes, I'm like, okay, this is the one where I did this. Or plus, I can sometimes even, if there are enough funny ones, I collate them and put them into like a blooper reel and post it as well. Yeah.
Nice one. And Kate, how's work with you, man? How things been?
Yeah, work's been good. It's been a bit, stressful. You know how it is with
course.
work and working in the recruitment
No, I
industry.
don't.
Okay, fair enough. You don't. But yeah, it's been decent. I've just really been grateful to God that I can actually wake up every morning, go to work, come home, rest, eat, have somewhere to lay my head. So yeah, it's stressful, but I'm happy.
That's good then. That's good. Well, let me break the ice. Let's start off with the first topic. We've realized that a lot of times our country, Nigeria, tends to focus on a lot of things. Sometimes things that we feel are not as important. We've had the Paris Olympics, they've gone by, and Nigeria as a team performed poorly. My question to you guys, first off, is how do you feel about that?
I'm disappointed. Again.
Yeah.
Like, the last Olympics, I think there was a time we won, it was either bronze or silver. Like, I was born in America. So technically my nationality is American, right? They say nationality is your passport, whatever. But I was raised in Nigeria. So I see myself, I'm Nigerian. My parents are Nigerian. When people ask me where I'm from, I say Nigeria. But it's like I want to be patriotic. I want to be a proud countryman. But it's like when I see my country not even just performing up to at least a
Bro, it's
decent
hard.
standard.
It's really
hard.
It's
really
disheartening.
upsetting.
Like
It's really upsetting.
I'm sure you guys know of like the situation with the track. They forgot to register.
Yeah, that's not even the
some
only
of our
one.
talents' names.
That's not even the only one. They sent a cyclist out there without a bike. Bro, like,
I love Nigeria. Like I love our culture. Our people were smart, we're brilliant, we have the talent. Look at Israel Adesanya in the UFC. Look at what he did. Kamaru's man. Look at what he did in that same UFC. Look at Giannis.
I was gonna say Giannis, but I don't know. He's Greek, but like not Greek, right?
They call him the Greek freak.
because he was raised there, but he's
Yeah,
Nigerian.
he was raised there.
But now he plays for the Greek national team.
Yeah, he plays for the Greek national
So
team.
you can kind of see like the dynamic. You see that Nigeria is no longer performing.
Yeah.
Not even performing well. Probably we used to perform quite well before. Or
Yeah.
even had something to show. now a lot of athletes are coming out to say that they do have some Nigerian heritage, but they're not really performing, but they're coming out and representing other countries.
Yeah.
We saw that German athlete. We've seen some other athletes. They've come out there and they've said, either my father or my mother is Nigerian.
Yeah.
But due to the opportunities that the country has given them,
Yeah.
they're now able to, follow their career
Yeah.
Yeah.
despite the country they are representing.
Yeah.
It's really weird for me, man, because what came into my mind now is that, do these people mind? Would you guys mind? Let's say you're representing Great Britain, but in
Yeah.
your hearts, you know that your parents are Nigerian,
Yeah.
or your parents are African, of African descent. Firstly,
Yeah.
how would you feel winning gold, silver, bronze, knowing that you didn't win under your actual country? I mean, to you, it may not be your actual country.
Yeah, I
but
get
you get
what you mean. I get, like, honestly,
your fatherland, motherland, whatever.
I would still be happy because, like, I won a gold medal.
Yeah.
It shows your, it shows your hard
But
work.
obviously-
it shows your ability.
There's a bit of like, it would probably be like bittersweet because, like, your parents left their home country, their homeland because
They wanted
know,
to give you better opportunities.
better
Anyway.
opportunities. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not that Nigerians as a people are not talented. We
Yeah.
all know that.
So I think, yeah, so that means it's an institutional kind of thing where it's
Yeah.
like, if we want to represent our, like, it's not like we don't want to represent our countries. It's just the fact that if we do, we would end up limiting ourselves almost.
Yeah.
Like people like, who am I thinking of? Well, actually, Dele Alli is a bit of a different one. But like what, Alex Iwobi, that's one thing that I really respect about him is that he was a UK baller,
Yeah.
but year after year he represents Niger.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I really respect that for him
Yeah.
because it's a different thing to go out
Yeah.
and then still come back to represent your country.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what
but
I'm
not
saying?
everyone's gonna have that
That's
opportunity.
that's all. Yeah, but I was just saying, like, yeah, I respect him for it.
Of course,
Like,
you're right
doing that.
though. You're right though. But then, would it be a wise choice to represent your country and get that, notoriety, popularity from representing Nigeria, for example? Or would you go for a country that's ready to develop you as a player, develop you as an athlete, so that you can continue to perform on the world stage?
Yeah.
Because what's the point of being a world stage caliber athlete?
If you're not on the world stage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And your country is probably not looking towards putting you guys up there. So what's really the point?
Isn't it? It's the argument of like I versus we. And then like if you know that you can be a world class athlete, you will stop at nothing to be that world class
Exactly.
athlete.
Do anything you can do
And if
possibly to
and if that means you have to represent by a different country,
Another
like what's
country.
what there was one woman who Nigeria forgot to register.
They forgot to register
The
in
year
last,
before- in the
last 4 years ago.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know about that. I wasn't very sure.
And it was for the short put thing. And
Yeah, either shot put or
And
hammer
she-
throw.
She comes and
silver.
represents
She wins
US.
yeah, and she wins silver. And I have nothing but I give her nothing but congratulations.
Yeah, like,
Of
to
course
be-
she deserves it. Because-
She deserves, number one, she deserves it. And number two, I hope that this year, now that Nigeria's seen that, they think to themselves, okay, look, we neglected this this athlete, we neglected her.
Yeah,
And now she's gone ahead and won for a different country.
exactly.
It makes us look bad as a country.
Well, true. But then if the government doesn't focus on such, there's very little we can do. It's kind of just like, work opportunities.
Yeah.
If work opportunities are better outside the country, then more people will be going towards attaining those things. So for athletes, it's very hard for them to continue, serving under a banner that is not willing to improve. I mean, imagine you were working so hard at your job and the job wasn't good enough to get you some form of representation or some form of appraisal,
Yeah.
You're not gaining anything. You might as well just go somewhere
Just go
else.
somewhere else.
somewhere else.
That's the issue with Nige. Sometimes that's the issue with, I would say, the mentality in the country. Not everybody is like that, but once the majority acts in such a manner, it's gonna push you in that direction. And one of those things that's gradually changing, but has always been looked down on, music. You know, seeking a musical career, regardless of whether it's through vocals or it's through an instrument, it's always been seen as low tier.
Yeah.
And there are different things that play into it. I wanna definitely say, but I'll start off with asking you guys this: if you had that talent for music, you obviously do.
Thank you. I was waiting for that.
If
But
you
if
had that talent, with having that talent for music,
yeah.
would you chase that career if the opportunities were set out for you, let's say in Nigeria, all of us being in Niger, and it wasn't frowned upon, it was looked at as something that will get you huge success, you know, lots of notoriety. Nowadays, if parents find out that their children have that talent, they'd be looking, you know, to gain something from it. But way back then, if I remember, they would tell you want to go and become a musician, you want to go and play in somebody's church.
Face, basically, yeah.
It wasn't seen as a serious career.
Prestige.
So for you guys now, all cards on the table, would you chase that career, you know, furiously?
If that was what I wanted to do, yes.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
100%.
Because even like now, like I do get asked like questions. Okay, like if I can figure out a way to get you in contact with Burna Boy, or if I can figure out a way to get you in contact with Flavor, Wizkid, you know, Davido, or any of them.
Yeah.
You know, would you do this? Like, would you make more music in Nigeria? Blah. And I'm like, well, for one, of course I would, but I don't even think that the sound that I have is even, you know, acceptable. Matches with Nigerian music. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like even the opportunities might even be there, but it's almost too late now. You know, I'm already formed in a different
specific climate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would say to answer your question, it's a yes, but obviously, you know, with caveat.
Of course. Well, you can.
I mean, personally, I would chase it 100% because at the end of the day, it's like the reason why a lot of us are, you know, in different countries is because our parents or us, we're just trying to seek better opportunities. We know how the situation is in Nigeria. It's quite difficult actually for someone as an artist coming up in Nigeria. Like if you check in Lagos, there's hundreds, thousands of people who do music who are trying to, you know, get their stuff out. But it's just like, even if they post, they do all these things, there isn't really like, there's a music scene, but I don't know how to explain it, but it's quite difficult to get things.
It's saturated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Saturated.
There's so many different artists.
So many different artists.
Yours kind of just goes into the.
In fact, there's so many different artists with talent. Not even like just people. Different artists with talent that makes it's so hard. Like, okay, you put an Afro. You know how Afrobeats is. Yeah. Someone can put Afrobeat song together and it would be nice. It would be really good. But it's like there are 7 other people who
can do the same thing.
Who can do the same thing. So it's like, what makes you different from the other person? But if it's a case of like, there is set, you know, it's outlined, it's like really structured, because it's not structured. Getting to that place where your music is worth money, it's not structured in Nigeria. It's really difficult. Yeah. It's not like in here, like I'm to be honest now, this is where I'm not entirely aware, but you know how there's like talent agencies in like the UK and whatnot,
labels and stuff.
And stuff. There are labels in Nigeria too. Now I'm not entirely sure of how they work, but it's a bit different in the sense of like it's not as structured.
Yeah, you're correct.
You know,
you're correct. It is.
And that's just the thing. Like that's why a lot of people like they try and get their music out to like sometimes they get it to the masses or you know whatnot. Like obviously in recent times now Afrobeats is coming out to the world and you know Nigeria is leading it now.
Yeah.
So it's a bit different now. But like think about how it was just like 5 years ago, you know, like or even let's say 7 years ago, like Afrobeats
was not heard of.
It wasn't really heard of. You know, it wasn't until like Davido, Burna Boy, they started, you know, doing collabs with all these international artists. That's when they now, you know, started making the way for the others to come in as well. you know. But yeah, if back to your question actually, so if like I had the opportunity now, it's structured and I have the talent for it, I would chase it
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd get to do it in my home country, be a countryman, you know, express my country's culture to the world. So yeah, I would do it 100%.
Looking at that whole music perspective, it's really good to have, you know, the support of your family, you know, to have your parental support, because that can even push you to strive for more. That can push you to seek more for yourself, or to even just continue the career. Burna Boy is a lovely example.
Yeah.
His manager, his agent, that's his mama. That's his mom. If you didn't know, like, his mom is actually the one that I feel like his mom has a big hand or plays a big part in his affairs.
Yeah.
So imagine when you have the backing of your family, when they're pushing for you to reach success, when they're placing you on a pedestal, or they're helping you create that foundation. You know, that's something that a lot of people, a lot of parents don't give their kids the opportunity to do. Sometimes they don't see the vision. Sometimes they believe, well, I would prefer if my child does this. Sometimes they just feel, well, that's an irrelevant career choice. But sometimes when you have the opportunity, or sometimes when you have the availability of your parents' support, that's able to push you past probably, you know, your ceiling. Because that's one thing that we notice with celebrities, or you notice with entertainers, because truthfully, at the end of the day, that's what they are. That's what we are, entertainers. You begin to receive some form of popularity. Maybe your music, you know, underperforms, or you as a person, your morals begin to drop. You're
Yeah.
famous and you're no longer acting as you should.
Yeah.
Do you think a lot of parents see that? You know, you see that in the bubble, in that whole
Yeah.
celebrity
do.
bubble, and then do not want that for their own kids?
Yes, 100%.
Because I mean, not
100%.
every musician is terrible.
Yeah,
but a
but
lot of
it's
musicians
the-
have been in some
like,
kind of scandal.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think you hit the nail on the head, because it's, I don't like, even I'm in that industry. You know, I'm an actor. I'm a rapper. So I'm an artist. So when I talk to my parents about, you know, XYZ, where I want to live when I'm older, you know, this that, they're always quick to say, like, okay, just make sure that, you know, you have the right people around you. You have it, blah, blah, like all of this,
Because things change fast.
things change quickly. Things change so quickly, and it's a scary thing, because once that thing changes, you're like, okay, how do I deal with this now? Basically, a moving foundation,
Yeah.
and that's where your parents are kind of like, okay, just trying to make sure that your head is screwed on properly.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I really feel like it's something that needs to be focused on. It's something that needs to be looked at as young people.
Yeah.
If you are going into such a career like, you know, music, you need to know that there are a lot of people that are also chasing that career, but in a different way, in a different with a different plan. Some people are ready to step over tons of people. Some people are ready to step in your eye, just, you know, to get above you. So you do need to be very careful. Sometimes you might have some people that look like fun time people at that moment, but as things gradually pass on, it starts to get nastier and nastier, and then you find yourself on the news, and then you find a terrible story about yourself, or you've completely changed. I feel like a lot of parents sit down and worry about that, because some celebrities are very bad examples. You know, they're just fame chasers. You know, they're just, you know, living for the moment. So a lot of times it really blocks out the beauty of being able to spread your word through your music. And then parents are not really given the opportunity to look at that. But we should also keep in mind that parents are grown individuals. They're grown adults. They should be able to think open-mindedly, and more times than not they do. But you should be able to also keep in mind that you would want to be present in your child's career, so that until they're able to make choices for themselves, you can guide them on the right path. Because sometimes it's just a sentence can go a long way.
A sentence can go a long way. I think in terms of me, I'm taking this, you know, from my own perspective.
Of course.
My parents were kind of they were definitely reluctant. I can't say that they weren't, but
Because you were a bad boy.
but yeah, but they were reluctant for a little bit, but then I think they kind of just they saw what I was right. I did you guys ever watch Let It Shine?
Yeah, the Disney
I don't remember
movie.
it, but I know you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, so the Disney movie where the guy, he's like the main character's the son of a pastor and
Yeah.
he's a rapper. And I remember that movie resonating with me, and I forced my parents to watch it I think 3 times, being like, look, yeah, I think there's one line that's like, oh, you misunderstood. You didn't know that poetry could hide in the hood. Like, you know, I was like, I remember playing that song, being like, yeah, Dad, Mom, listen, like, this isn't just me trying to. This is how I express myself. Like, this is the only way that I can feel like I'm me. You know, when I'm doing my music, when I'm acting, this is the only time. And I feel like they were they were much more open to accept that, or open to like help me with that, because my uncle, funny enough, was actually a rapper.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, that's funny.
no, I'm just saying funny enough, as in like
It's funny because
yeah.
like your parents.
My parents are not nowhere near that kind of industry.
Your uncle is just like yeah.
So yeah, no, my uncle used to be a rapper, and in fact, his daughter now, shout out Uche, my cousin, she's killing it in music, like killing it. She
Okay.
did a color show the other week. Actually.
Really?
Yeah, the other month. Yeah. It was really cool. But yeah, so I genuinely think that in terms of, they have to be almost like introduced to it a little bit before that they can actually accept that it's a viable route.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing, you know.
I think another thing to also add is just in terms of like from what you were saying, like with parents, is like, they grew up in a certain way, they have their culture. They were always told doctor, lawyer, entrepreneur in terms of like business. Even that entrepreneur is a bit shaky.
It's a bit shaky.
It's a bit shaky depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, to them, in their time, music wasn't seen as a way to,
To actually build.
build. Like, people barely made it. Like, maybe you had a few incredible success stories, but it wasn't seen as viable. So I think with them, it's like, I don't think it's a case of, like, obviously it's looked down upon, amongst the older generation, but that's just because it's like, in comparison to like going to school, getting your education, getting your degree, then using your degree to get a job, that's seen as very viable.
Yeah.
But
because there's a setup from young.
From A to B to C. With music.
With music, it's like
you can go from A to Z.
You can go from A to Z that night.
Exactly. And that's probably one of the things I feel scares parents, elders. A lot of times there's no plan.
There's no pension plan.
No structure.
There's no 401k.
So if you mess up, you mess up.
Exactly. If you fall off, you fall off.
And what do you really tell anybody? Oh yeah, he did music and then this happened. Yeah. But then if you come out and say, oh yeah, no, he has this degree, but at the moment there are no opportunities. It's like, oh, okay.
There will be.
Exactly.
They will always need people.
Exactly. There is a plan for those. But when it comes to being that, if you don't have any kind of foundation, and then in a place where you're probably not going to music school or not going to drama school like you, for example, there's no structure. Now that structure is there because obviously you wanted to place it there. It's still not the same as your education level structure.
Yeah.
But depending on how you plan it, depending on how you follow through, it then can become something that will flourish.
Yeah.
But then if it don't flourish, it's kind of like, oh, it's just there.
So what's our backup plan?
Exactly.
That's the thing. Do you know one thing that I can't lie? When I was growing up, I'm still growing up, but like when I was growing up, hearing, oh, you should go to uni because you need a backup plan. You need a backup plan. I hated hearing that.
It actually felt like it made no sense. I won't lie to you, bro.
I hated because I remember saying this to my parents. I said, look, why do you think I will need a backup plan? And I know obviously, like with age comes wisdom more.
Of course.
But like I used to think, why do you think I need a backup plan? Plan A is not going to fail.
Yeah. I get that.
Plan A is not failing. It's not failing. Like, it cannot fail. me thinking that there's a backup plan is giving me, okay, you know, I don't have to push for this because I have something to fall back.
Yeah.
I didn't want that fallback, man. I didn't want it at all.
Yeah.
Of course, you don't want to fall back on it, but in a way, you just kind of had to have something.
I had to have
Look at basketballers, look at footballers. Imagine, so a lot of them, you know, great ballers and everything, they're retired and now they're kind of looking for ways to invest their money, or they did invest their money, but they don't really have that degree that gives them the certification to start this or to continue learning this or doing that. Look at Shaquille
Shaq.
O'Neal, for example. I'm so glad.
Dr. Shaq.
Exactly.
Dr. Shaq.
Yeah.
You see this guy now, he has his doctorates,
in
he
education,
has
bro.
the certificates, bro.
Yeah.
So aside from a rim shaker, bro, come on.
He's a
This
doctor
guy,
as well.
he
Superman. I like to break rooms. Shaquille O'Neal.
yeah. And with that, you see, like he has his basketball, whatever they call it, like, you know, your resume. He has his whole NBA resume, and now he has his resume from degrees, from courses and qualifications. You always have to have that, man, because you can only entertain for so long.
It's very true.
You can only entertain for so long. A lot of people want the limelight to last, and if it does, then you're one of the best. But if it don't, come on, man. You have to go back to doing something. You can't live off that old glory. You can't live off that old glory. So you then have to have something that will remind people that, hey, this brother used to make some lovely music, and now he's got a lovely ass restaurant as well. Hey, that's nice. But then, remember this guy? He was a champion 5 years ago. Oh, what's he doing now? He got kicked out of the league. Okay, but he ain't got nothing. It's kind of like, that's the end of your story.
Exactly. And
So if you, go ahead.
I actually just wanted to point something out now. Like, obviously, like my parents too, they used to say the same thing: get a degree, and then okay, you have a degree, pursue your dreams, do what you want. And you know what? Do you guys know this guy? Like basically, there was this basketball player who played with LeBron James on the Heat. I think he
Was it on the Heat or on the Cavs?
I think it was on the Cavs. He dated his mom.
Light skin guy.
Yeah, light skin guy with tattoos, right?
Yeah, I know him.
Like, here's the thing with what Leo said just now, in terms of like having a fallback plan when you fall out of the league, they still see, okay, but he has this going on. That guy had nothing going on. So now when they speak of him, they don't speak of his career. They only speak of the fact he fell off.
Nothing. They don't speak of him
only
kindly.
Speak of how he had no backup plan and he fell out so bad that they don't even talk about. Ask anyone about his best game. Nobody knows. Most people don't know. The casual fan doesn't. They only know. The only reason they know him is because of how bad he fell off.
And the fact that he played with LeBron.
Exactly. And this also goes to music because, like, okay, say now, obviously, like we have our parents who always push back, like, because they don't see the structure, they don't see it's viable, right? Look at it this way. Say now someone makes it, they make it, they get to that level. And now the new challenge is to stay at that
level.
To keep their sound evolving because you can't keep making the same sound for 10. Look at B.O.B.
Yeah, B.O.B. Where's he gone?
Like I can tell you where he went.
Where?
He tried to raise a GoFundMe to prove that the earth was flat. It raised only $2,000 and that was it. Imagine B.O.B. Imagine.
Sorry, I had to
like
take a minute.
As much as like I get the thing with our parents, you know, saying always have a backup. I can understand it. Like when I was younger, I was like, you guys don't believe in my dream.
Sorry.
That's
Can we run that back? B.O.B. tried to raise do a GoFundMe.
Yes, yeah.
For what exactly?
To prove the earth was flat.
So he asked people to pay him to do scientific experiments.
And no one paid.
people have done worse. But I definitely agree. I definitely agree because you really have to have something. You have to have something. So I understand the fear. Go ahead.
Do you want to know, on the flip side, a success story? Tiny Temper.
Go ahead.
You don't hear him anymore. But he's actually doing fashion up in Lagos. Like, he's been doing fashion since.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's another example of flipping,
plan.
flipping things over for yourself.
He's been doing.
And I completely agree with why parents would be worried. You know, it's not good to completely shut down your kids' dreams, but I can understand why you'd be worried on how they would go about it, where they would go to, especially when your parents don't really know anything about that
that
you know,
industry.
that field.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
how can they then come and give you advice
Yeah.
on how to go about this, or
Yeah.
who's trying to trifle with you, or stuff like that? You know, you're not really prepared.
They are. I realized this. I think it was like about a year ago when I started Identity. The reason why they are hesitant
Yeah,
is purely because you are also hesitant. If that makes sense, like you don't know what's going to happen.
kind of. Yeah, I mean,
And they also don't know what's going to happen. Like you said, the structure is, you know, you finish GCSEs, you do A levels, finish A levels, you get a degree. You finish your degree, you get a job. You know, it's set out to the year.
yeah,
Every year is this, every year is that. Whereas with acting, it's like you could be the best actor in the world. You could be the best actor in the world, and you can go for okay, for example, let's say I'm the best actor in the world.
Yeah.
I still cannot play Iron Man as good as Robert Downey Jr. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
of course.
Yeah.
if you don't fit the role, that's it. It doesn't matter about your talent,
Yeah.
and that's that hesitation that the parents don't like. They don't like the fact that, you know, 2 seconds. It's your whole career is based on someone else's judgment, not your talent.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. But that happens everywhere in the world, man. There's nepotism. There are particular things that will always kind of hinder that. But it's kind of what's that called? You know, placing a bet on yourself. At the end of the day, if you get that support, you have the opportunities, and you are working towards something, you will inevitably reach it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you do not have the opportunities, you don't have the backing, you don't have the support, and you try to do it on your own, that's when it kind of looks like you're going on your own path, or you're trying to be wayward, or you don't want to follow the structure. Now, this is the one thing I don't agree with. When you have, you know, people our age, young people like us, they've been given a structure, and then they completely break it. They disrespect it. They disobey it.
Yeah.
Kids that go off and drop out of school without their parents knowing, let's say your parents choose not to be completely involved in your registration process. So your parents are not putting their emails there, you're putting your emails there, and you're going about stuff. I get that life gets hard, and some people feel like university is not for them. But for those that choose to divert to another career, more times it's music and arts, because there's freedom there, bro.
Yeah.
But you do it in a way where you no longer inform your parents.
Yeah.
For me, anything, you know, I'm still a kid, bro. Sometimes I end up hiding stuff from my parents. But if you're willing to hide the plan that your parents set up for you because you decided to, you know what, F this plan, I'm going to do my own thing, that's where you've completely lost the plot.
Yeah.
Because regardless of however it goes, you have also gone past the fact that your parents, these people that are living their own lives just like you, have decided to sacrifice a certain amount of money to send you there, regardless of whether it's to show off to their friends like, hey, I got money, just put my kids going to school. What are you now diverting for? That's some of the things that makes it hard for parents to see, you know, the beauty in such a career.
Yeah.
Because some people go about it so terribly. You either drop out of school, and even if you're successful and then you're able to pay your parents back the money, that's cool. You might just get like a little stern talking to, but it doesn't really matter. You're throwing money in your dad's face or something. But imagine that don't happen. Imagine you just standing there.
The visual
I'd never throw
the visual said just throw money at your dad.
Metaphorically, you're placing money down there. You're, in a way, the bet you made has paid off.
Yeah.
But then what happens when it don't pay off? Then you dropped out of school.
you
The
have to
truth's
show
gonna
for
have to
it.
come out at some point.
Yeah.
Because all that money has been going to where? You know what I mean? It's really hard sometimes for parents, and I understand that as I've gotten older, because sometimes as kids, bro, we can be very dastardly, bro. We can act very devious, in very devious ways. You try to manipulate, and it's funny because we don't even know that our parents know, man. You might tell your parents a little lie, and you realize the next week or 2 weeks after, they're like, yeah,
That they know.
you know that stuff you told me?
Yeah,
I just let it slide.
Yeah, for real.
I just let it slide because I knew you ain't got the balls to tell me the truth.
Sometimes they're just tired.
I
Sometimes
think-
they're just tired,
I
and they
think
know
it just-
they're doing a risk assessment. Like, is this thing that he's doing really going to harm him, or is it just going to be annoying? If it's going to be annoying,
Just let it go.
But if it's gonna harm him, it's then like, yeah, man, I'm
it's
just
gonna
gonna
harm-
strap up.
I think it's just like sometimes we forget they were once kids too. So like they used to do the same things we did, so they already know all the tricks.
Exactly. So they're just kind of seeing the same things they did, but just they're seeing it in us.
Yeah,
They're seeing it in us.
it's like oh yeah, you sneak. He doesn't know that I already know.
I'm telling you. But fair enough, man. Music is a lovely thing. So for people to get into the opportunity of making music and then receiving some financial income from it, props to you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Props to you.
good job, my boy.
That's a
I need to
reminder.
keep I need to keep composure when I'm around these guys, man. But tell me, let's go into your love of music.
Can I say
What-
happened? Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. Continue. Don't worry. You can watch it
What
back
would
later.
you say? How would you describe, your love for music, bro? What kind of music do you like? What kind of genres? Just talk to us, man.
If I'd say honestly, my favorite genres is hip hop and Afrobeats. I like a bit of alternative music. Sometimes I listen to. There's like maybe one or two, rock songs here. Maybe a pop song there. Yeah, but mainly I'd say hip hop is like that's my genre.
Okay, that's cool, man. That's cool. What about you, again?
And rap. Rap is one. Then lies in like top.
Yeah.
And then second, obviously hip hop. And then third would probably be. Do you know there's some classical bangers?
Yeah.
I can't lie, there's some classical bangers, and I love a little bit of soul as well.
Do you guys ever find yourselves diverting from, your main genre? Like you find yourself
yeah.
you find yourself a rap,
Yeah.
and then you go all the way down to some classical soul, if that even makes sense.
My playlist is a roller coaster. Bro.
It changes, right?
It's everywhere.
That's the same thing with me. Bro. I can't sit down. I might sit down for a period listening to, rap, but the rap's gonna change. It might be, some drill, it might be conscious rap, it might be hip hop rap. It really changes. Could be R&B, And I like how my taste has grown because along the line, even though I listen to all kinds of tracks, there's always some type of meaning in the songs.
In the song, yeah.
Or I want to believe there's some kind of meaning, because I might have a rapper that's talking about his life story, explicit or not explicit. Excuse me. He's out there, he's talking about his past, he's talking about things he's experienced and how he's gotten up in the rap game. Or you might have someone talking about a love story. I don't really like sappy love songs, but I might just sit down, I might listen to a heartfelt message, I might listen to a tragic backstory. Like, those things are nice. You try not to get too down into your emotions, but being able to relax, listening to all kinds of music, even when it comes to 70s hip hop, like Japanese hip hop.
Japanese hip hop.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I've never listened.
I was listening. It's quite nice. I would definitely say you listen to it. It's very unique. It's very unique because just early on you were talking about how it's very similar to old American pop or hip hop, or not hip hop, but yeah, pop. Japanese pop. So it's very similar to the American 80s pop, But it's definitely something I'd say you definitely listen to. You need to check out, bro, because you have such a blank face right now.
Yeah, because I don't know
definitely
any
check out. It's
Japanese
very
pop.
nice. It's very nice, bro. But when you expand your horizon, or when you have the opportunity to expand your horizon, you get to find out that there are so many different songs and so many different languages or cultures, or if anything, just the way the music was made. At one point you're focused on the bass, you're focused on the rhythm. Next point, you're listening to the vocals or you're listening to the story. There's so much you can actually just focus on when it comes to music, man.
I think, and I think it's also like a lot of what you focus on primarily is based on what you listened to when you were younger, like early doors.
100%.
Like, for example, I told you this the while I was growing up, where going to school and coming back from school,
Yeah.
that my mum's car had the CD player was broken, and the only thing that we could listen to was either Static or Robbie Williams' greatest hits.
Yeah, Robbie Williams.
And to this day, I can sing all of his greatest hits word for word.
Name like 2 songs.
Millennium, Rock DJ, Party Like a Russian, Angels, Supreme. I've named like 6. Yeah.
I'm kind of lost.
What messed up your mom's CD player?
Probably me, to be honest. I don't know. But hey, if Robbie sees this, let's do karaoke together.
Oh, okay.
He won't see it. He won't see it. But yeah.
You never know.
We never know. Exactly. Robbie, I'm down.
What about you, K? What about you? What kind of...
Well, my CD player didn't break, so I wasn't listening to like 2 artists for a whole year. But you know,
It's just Robbie.
okay. But yeah, you know, I grew up from my dad. Actually, this is more of inherited. Like my dad was into the heavy hip hop scene, and in America, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne,
Rose,
Drake, all those types of songs. So I was always listening to them on the way to school in the car.
Yeah.
The clean version, of course, because I was a kid at the time, so it had to be the clean version or no version. But yeah,
Clean or no.
But yeah, but as I grew older, when I came here to the UK, that's when I started, being introduced to like, UK drill.
Yeah, of course.
Like I used to think
Your love language.
Hey,
This nigga loves drill, bro.
drill,
God.
just drill.
I like drill.
I remember when we would have like parties in our yard, bro, and Kate will come like, I have a song request. I have a
Like
song
everyone
request.
already knew the
I
song.
have a
after the
song
playlist.
request.
What's the song?
I can't even remember what was that song you
It
used to
was,
play, bro.
The 2 songs I used to play was 4-4 Bulldog by
Yeah,
Pop Smoke.
yeah, 44 Bulldog. That's how I used to say, play 44 Bulldog, bro. Oh,
And then the
man.
next song is Big Drip.
Bedroom. Bedroom.
Like,
This is rubbish,
What's
man.
the matter with you? Where's the
the correlation?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
crazy.
Where's the through lane, bro?
It just plays into the fact that it's like, like some people listen to songs for the lyrics. Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
J. Cole and Kendrick, for example.
Yeah.
Some
Kendrick,
people
oh my
listen
days,
to
bro.
songs for like the beats. Like growing up, that's what I used to do, because like some of the lyrics I didn't used to get them because it's like I love the clean version, so they're like
Yeah,
they kind of
you
cut
gotta,
things
yeah,
off,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
do like that little chill sound effect. So it's like I just ignore that. I just
Trill
like
sound effect.
no, I forget it. I was always like listening to the songs about like the beats, like so with Fabio Foreign, for example. Like I'm not trying to diss him or anything, but like I know we're not really listening to
Who?
like Fabio. You don't know Fabio Foreign?
Do you?
Stop it now.
I
Let
do.
the guy
I know.
talk.
No,
Bro, okay, shut up.
no. I want to know. I didn't hear him when he said Fabio.
Fabio Foreign.
No,
Fabio Foreign.
I think I recognize the name, but I don't know him. Yeah.
He's a rapper, but
Yeah,
that's,
I
that's,
realize,
that's
yeah.
besides the point.
Yeah.
The point is like his music is more of hype music. Like Big Drip, for example, is like hype. Like how it starts with that loud thing, and then it's like,
I don't remember how it stops, but yeah. Continue.
sorry, Mr. What was it?
Robbie
Williams.
Oh my days,
But yeah,
man.
like so I
Me and
was.
Robbie alone, man.
Don't worry, you guys will get your karaoke one day. But yeah, like I was just, I used to listen to it for the beats. Like I need the hype, heavy beats without deep bass. You know when you hit the beat drop and the bass. That's just what I was about.
See, I'm a lyricist person, so like even the raps I make are all. I would classify myself as a lyricist. I like the play on words. I like the double entendres. I love trying to figure out how to make it as convoluted and as clever as possible.
Yeah.
And so growing up, I feel like that's all because I grew up on Eminem and the way that he bro, I don't know how to say it in any other way. He's just so good. He's so good. Like top 1 for me personally.
You have Eminem as your number one?
My number one. As of right now, my top 5 is Eminem, Lil Wayne, J. Cole, 21, and who's fifth?
You don't have
Joyner Lucas.
You don't have Kendrick there.
Oh my days! Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Now revamp. Eminem,
Kenny.
Eminem, Kendrick, Lil Wayne. That's why I was wondering who's the 5th one. Who do I say? 21 and Joyner Lucas.
Oh, you bounced J. Cole for Joyner Lucas.
Yeah.
No
I
worries.
bounced-
No worries. It's fine. I'll let you have
the
it.
reason
I'll let you
why
have
I
it.
bounced J. Cole for Joyner Lucas is only because two songs
Yeah.
from Joyner. I'm Not Racist, and what was that other one? Oh no, this is gonna hurt my brain now.
I don't even want to
I'm
hear this
sorry.
anymore.
I'm
I know the I'm Not Racist one, and one thing I like about Joyner Lucas is, I won't call him a conscious rapper, but he raps with a message.
Yeah.
He raps with a
raps
message.
with a
A lot of
message.
rappers might have some messages, they might hide it in, they might turn it into a play on words. But Joyner Lucas, he might have some projects and it's gonna be a message.
Yeah.
It might be like, hey, there's discrimination, or hey, there's segregation, or hey, there's just hate.
Not saying that J. Cole doesn't, because J. Cole
Of
does
course,
as well.
J. Cole does as well, but Joyner Lucas, that's the thing. Every artist does it differently. Every artist has their unique way of putting out music.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes they are very explicit. Sometimes that's their way of, spreading their truth. Other people may not accept that, but for now, we're able to appreciate how they sit down and plan and project these designs. Another artist I could bring up is Jid, or JID. Jid is so
good.
talented.
He's Nigerian.
He's Nigerian. Boom.
Nigerian.
I didn't even know that, bro.
Who is J?
So JID is Jid.
Run 51, run nigga, run, jump. Sorry.
He wouldn't know, but Jid, he's another artist signed by J. Cole. He's signed by J. Cole. Nice artist, bro. I love him, man. I've been listening to his songs. There's a song you should listen to, Cody Blue 31. It's a nice one, bro. He raps really well. But that's the thing, uniqueness. These guys come out with their unique ideas, their unique rapping styles or singing styles, and they create music. They create these projects. And the thing now that people don't realize is that music is very powerful. It has the ability to sway. You can get people singing tunes as long as it's catchy, but then they're not really thinking about the lyrics. God in heaven knows that. Not like my mom was on my case checking up all these lyrics and stuff, but they were always very particular about it. I had an iPod Touch when I was younger, it was like a new version when it came out. My dad got those for me and my siblings, and I used to download music through the MP3 converter. You know what I'm talking about now, that MP3 converter. Like, they had different types. People were sending out different ones you could download. I'll download it. You carry the link, you copy the link, put that on the app, and then you could download the MP3. After watching like 5 ads or something, you'll then download the music video or just the MP3. And you'll be listening to it. I remember in particular, it was this Robin Thicke song with 2 Chainz. Of all the people, bro.
See, I don't know
2
the
Chainz.
song.
I don't remember the name. I don't remember the
Do you
name.
remember the song?
I think I do.
I would check it, but it doesn't. You wouldn't know. It's an old song from 2013.
Bro, hey, I had no songs from
You
Tupac
don't
era.
know it.
I know songs from Tupac era.
Great, congrats. You
No, but
know?
like, as in, just because it's 2000 and something, I've known some songs. That's what I'm saying. I would know it if you told me the name. I just don't remember it.
I don't remember the name either.
That's all.
God.
That's all I was saying. I just wanted the name. Is it so bad?
I like these guys. They're really cool, actually.
Man, anyways. Oh my days, man. Anyways, the song had a lot of cussing and swearing. It was literally, talking about, ladies and ladies. So my mom was like very particular about the lyrics and stuff, and she was like, "Oh, you need to be able to watch the lyrics that you're listening to. You watch the lyrics you're listening to because they kind of, in a way, they will kind of define you. The more stuff you listen to, you kind of hold on to those things.
Yeah.
If you sit down reading books where they're always talking about killing, more times in your head, those are the kind of things that pass through your mind. It's not saying you want to do that, but those are the things you would remember. You remember those songs, and then next thing you know, you find yourself swearing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a saying that's like, watch what you think because it becomes what you say. Watch what you say because it becomes what you do. Watch
Exactly.
what you do because it becomes your habit. And watch what your habit because it becomes who you are.
True.
Yeah.
So like, the things that go into your ear doesn't necessarily come out.
Yeah.
It kind of sticks. And the things you may not want to stick the more. So my question regarding that is that why is it that some artists, or if anything, a lot of artists, have to make music with profanity?
So, okay, sorry. Do you want to?
Yes.
So-
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. I was gonna say because it's like, it's just like that. I think the thing is like a lot of people come from strict homes, strict families, and it's like where they feel like their parents are always too tight on them. So it's like they want to rebel. So, a lot of artists who've also kind of come from that same household.
Yeah.
Where, because once again, as we mentioned before, with music, it's not particularly straightforward. A lot of parents see that there's no structure and they're worried for their children. And, some of the artists that have, become successful today, they had to rebel a bit. Obviously, now they might have the support of their parents because they're very successful now. Whereas, like, they then use that music to kind of like, okay, sing, like swearing, profanity. It used to be seen as taboo,
Yeah.
it used to be seen as, now it's really
Now it's
commonplace.
kind of common. Yeah.
It's commonplace, like very casual, but it's commonplace. But before it was seen as taboo. So it's like that rebellion, a lot of people resonate with it. So it's like they're singing that song, being profane as a form of rebellion against society. Like, especially with how sexualized a lot of music is becoming, in today, because it's like initially it was seen as taboo, but it's like they're doing it now. And it's like inspiring more people to,
To
like
do it.
to rebel as well. And like, yeah,
To build on what you said, yeah.
yeah,
I'm gonna say I'm gonna take it a bit differently, and I agree with what you're saying.
yeah,
But I think that why most artists prefer, or not prefer to swear, because I feel like that's a bit of a weird way of looking at it. I think the reason why they do swear is because society had told them, like you said, to not. And in your own art, you need to be able to be free. I
But
think
then
that's,
is that being free? Are you now expressing yourself in what you would believe as the proper way?
so no, because that's why I'm saying that I agree with what Kala said in terms of like,
Because sorry to cut you in again, because with freedom, you are able to do anything. Doesn't mean you should do everything.
agreed.
You
But
know,
would you not argue the case of when you are free, the
Yeah.
first thing you want to do is the thing that you've been
you
restricted.
couldn't do.
Yeah.
that is true, man. That is true. But then, do you then continue? I mean, people just continue because they have reasons for it. But to continue swearing, if you know that swearing is bad, but you do not receive a consequence for it, like an immediate consequence, you're always going to continue. You know what I mean? So, like, when you do swear in music in your songs, knowing that you have a big following and these guys are going to come out singing your songs and they're going to be singing those songs lyric by lyric, is it so good? Is it still good music? Because it really makes me sit down and ask this question, and I feel like it's a good question to end this all on. What makes good music? Because there's pre-production,
Yeah,
there's post-production, there's, the vocals, there, when you're being very particular, there are the beats and the rhythm. But if it's not, what makes good music to you guys?
Kola, I'm gonna let you start this one.
what makes good music? Honestly, depends on who you ask. Really, for some people, music is subjective. At the end of the day,
Thank you.
art is subjective.
Alright.
Like, say if this artwork here,
Of course.
I think it's cool. I'm pretty sure we all agree it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Some people may not like lines, so they don't like lines. They don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, it's subjective at the end of the day. I would say what particularly makes good music, it usually depends on the message. Because let's give an example now. Yeah, artists like J. Cole and Kendrick, they're highly respected
Yes.
because of their music. It's seen as conscious music. It's seen as intellectual. It's like a lot of rappers. You can't compare a lot of rappers to J. Cole and Kendrick because, like say for example, mumble rap. Mumble rap is looked down upon.
Don't even get me
Like,
started.
that's the funny thing. Mumble rap is looked down upon.
Yeah.
In music, it's like they're just mumbling and then putting some cool beats together, and that's it. Like, it's not particularly seen as good music. It's seen as catchy, where it's not. Say for example, now I'm not trying to insult any artist, but like look at Smoke Purp, Lil Pump.
Yeah,
know.
where are they now?
Exactly, it's like
Where
they
are they?
made catchy songs,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them were good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like now they're trying to still do that mumble rap, where it's like people just don't want to hear it.
People don't
Like
want to
turn it off. But it's like with J. Cole and Kendrick, they've been making music for how long now? Like
10, 12 plus years.
exactly.
Actually, more than that. Actually.
And it's like, yeah, the sound is changing. People have changed, like have also like, tried to change their sound with the times.
But they've adapted with it.
They've
Some
adapted
people have
with
been
it.
able to adapt.
Some people have been able to, and some people have fallen out.
Some people are the reason why music changes.
Yeah.
For
Of course,
example,
of course. There are some people that are able to change the game.
For example, lately, I don't know if you consciously hear this, but lately in a lot of music now, you're hearing a lot of bells. Yeah, like as in
haven't
bells.
actually thought about that.
Yeah, and that is purely, I will say this because this is my own opinion at least. Yeet brought that to light. I don't know if he was the first one to start it, but he brought it to light and was like, "Hey, look, he made the whole thing of that that really like prominent bell sound.
Yeah.
That was when his songs started going off. I get what you're saying. So like he's changed it now. Like even think of the song Future Metro Boomin type shit.
Oh, that's the name of the song.
That's the name of the song.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know.
Oh, you haven't heard it?
It's from that album.
Yeah, the Like That album.
Yeah. So yeah, that song has so many bells in it now.
Oh, okay.
Or not now, but like yes, and it has so many bells in it, and that's.
But I get what you're saying.
Even Vultures too. Like the
Cinderella has bells in it.
There are bells in everything that you're hearing now.
So there are different things that these musicians adapt into their own projects, their own styles. There's so many different things. Like you said, it's subjective, art is subjective, so everybody has a different way of expressing it. But I still believe that there should be a collective understanding of good music, and
so
some stuff that are like probably overdone.
Yeah.
My answer to your question, is of what makes good music, is literally the only or the best concise answer I can give is what is the most relatable. That's the word. It's the most relatable music.
So
and
anything people can relate to.
Not anything people can relate to, because people can relate to anything.
Yeah.
It's what is the most relatable. And that's why, unfortunately, sex sells.
That is true, because I guess Lost is something that people go through a lot.
Think of Water by Tyler. That skyrocketed her career.
Yeah, if you think about it.
What are the lyrics?
It's a metaphor for, make me sweat, make me
think
water.
of what's I can't remember who the artist is, but Soundgasm. Rema. Was it Rema?
Yeah, Rema.
What are the lyrics?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all a metaphor for sex.
These things sell, and it's because it's one of the most relatable things in this world.
Yeah, if you think about it, like obviously, all over the world,
Mm-hmm.
all over the world, everyone does it. Well,
and that's
but
why,
you get the point.
That's why it sells.
Damn. Wow. Well, you can definitely say.
Just to finish off.
Yeah.
But whether it's good
Mm-hmm.
is more of it's a choice made by the masses.
It's a choice. It's a choice made by the masses on whether it's good music. But then if it's good to put out, good for people to listen to, depends on the artist.
Exactly.
Yeah, that also depends on that.
Fair enough. Then fair enough. Art is definitely a funny thing, man, because we can all sit down and agree that something that is generally made well is good.
Mm.
Yeah.
But something that has a lot of explicit references may be lovely to us, but bad to
the previous generation
or people today, anybody. It's subjective. It's really something that anyone can look at and pick. But what I would truly say, in my honest opinion, if you are trying to express yourself, you know, depending on how you want to go about it, there's never really a need for explicit or crude usage. Just because some people may lose the message, some people may not get the message, man. And sometimes, truthfully, the swearing don't even make sense. Sometimes the swearing don't make sense.
Sometimes.
For some people, you know, you can justify probably why what's his name? Eminem. You can't justify why Eminem swears.
No.
You
No,
can
other
never.
songs.
I'm not justifying it, but he said it himself that the only reason why he swears is because he wants to. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Not that he needs to, he just wants to.
Exactly. And then people say that that's how he expresses himself, but some other people are just not going to understand. Some people are just not going to understand. And I think that's a lovely way for us to end it.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's a lovely way for us to end it. Music being subjective and the fact that it is an opportunity that is really growing today. It's receiving, more people are looking towards music as an option to, you know, grow in a career sense.
More accessible now.
It's more accessible. Sorry. Thank you. My English is terrible.
Don't worry,
right
I
now.
got you, bro.
Oh man, but it's really good. It's lovely. And thank you guys again for being on this episode of Lion in the Room. Thank you for having my boys on this podcast. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you,
We
guys.
are gradually building things up. 3rd episode. And also to let you know, we have brought out our social media handles. Follow us on Instagram. You might see us on TikTok. I'm still not sure about that. Or you might see us on TikTok, but follow us on Instagram.
Where the handles gonna be? Are they gonna be here?
The handles are going to be somewhere.
It's probably going to be in the description. Link in the description.
Link in the description and somewhere around the video. Probably floating around Oge's.
Right. No.
Yeah.
It's here.
Somewhere around there. But
No,
we're going to
stop
also have streaming sites. So we're going to have Lion in the Room on Spotify, hopefully on Apple Music. Do they call it Apple Music or iTunes?
It's Apple Music.
Still
Apple Music.
yeah.
It's Apple Music.
Apple Music and other stuff. But thank you guys for watching. God bless you. We love you.
God bless.
And peace.
Bye.